Okay, your model has finished training. This will have taken anywhere from 15 minutes to 12 hours depending on the size of your dataset. Starting from a checkpoint can be a good way to speed this process up. So the next step is to analyze your model's training results. So the training results, the primary metric is MAP, mean average precision, which is a measure of how well the boxes that are being predicted by your model are matching up with the ground truth boxes that are in your validation and testing sets. So once you look at your MAP and you can see some more details here, and you've decided that the metrics are up to what you want, you can start to look at your model kind of in live format. So there's a few options you can do to do that. This link here is to use your webcam, which will work really great for real world scenarios like the one that we're doing here with no mask and mask. And other things you can do is you can use a curl command, or you can use a web app to kind of drag and drop in images and check on other images. So here we'll see an example with the webcam. So our model has finished here training, and we're going to go ahead and turn on camera here and see how it works in the lab. So here it is. There's the no mask predictions. One thing you'll notice actually is the training data doesn't have much data from people who are really close to the camera. So if I go up close here, it's going to think that I have a mask on. So that's one way that you can kind of start to test to see if your training data has fully generalized to the scenario that you want to get to. And this is going to be very similar to the way that you're going to have your oak set up. So the oak is another option for deployment, but you can start testing some of these things like this webcam demo or the hosted API to start developing your application even before your oak arrives. So this is kind of a really important way to start leveraging inference before you're ready to go onto the edge. And in what case do you want to use an oak? You have a webcam, the webcam example, that's a node. So if you're a JavaScript developer, that can be a good option for you. If you don't need real-time inference, the inference API can be a good use case for you. If you need anywhere from about 3 frames per second on down, the inference API is a good way. You can just use our web-hosted inference. And then if you want to use the oak device, that's this thing, to go on device and go onto the edge, that can get anywhere up to about 20 FPS. And the other thing that you have, then is that that it's actually inferring on the edge, so you don't have to worry about any network latencies as things are being posted and you're getting responses back. So we're not going to go super far into setting up every single one of these, but I do want to point out that you can see more info on setting up these different inference conditions on docs.roboflow.com. And here we'll take a little bit of a look at what the oak one looks like, for example. So you'll go here, and on inference, docs.roboflow.com, you can see the different deployment offerings that we currently have, and we're adding more all the time. So always let us know if there's one that you want us to add. And on the Lexanis Oak, there's a little bit about what it is and how to set it up and how to do training and all of that stuff. One thing I will mention on training for the Oak is that you really want to make sure that the conditions for where you're deploying it are very similar. So if you can take images actually from the camera that is going to be inferring on the Oak, that's going to make your performance all the better. And so for testing, like I said, before you get to the Oak, use the hosted inference API. That is going to be a really fast way to just kind of get things moving, and you don't even have to set up any hardware. And then in order to serve your inference server on the Oak, where you're going to set up a Docker server. So you pull down our Oak inference server from Roboflow and essentially Docker run that, and that will set up a server that you can now hit GET requests. So the GET request will see what the frame is in the Oak, pass that through its inference engine, and then return to you the predictions. And then you can start integrating those into your application. So yeah, so all the details on deployment options are going to be on docs.roboflow.com. One other thing I wanted to mention with the Oak is that actually you need a you need a host device. So here's my host device. I have here a Linux box, and you plug your Oak into the USB drive. Now, the good news is that you don't necessarily need a computer of that size to run your Oak. You can run it with any Linux-based machine that you're running for your host, and that's where your server is going to live. And then all the heavy lifting of neural inference and such is going to happen on your Oak. So that's all for the deploy videos. Thanks for watching today, and happy training, and of course, happy inferencing.